John Cola with OKRod.com. Today I have another exciting episode for you, and what we're looking at here is my latest raw food haul. As you guys can see, got lots of fresh fruits and vegetables and even some other things that I'll be sharing with you guys in this episode. One of the popular types of videos on YouTube in this day and age are the shopping hauls. Whether there's a girl going to a makeup shopping haul and she gets a bunch of makeup, goes over it with you and shares it with you and applies it for you, or whether they're going to get some Gucci's or some, high class, fancy dresses with flower prints or whatever. And some of these shopping hauls get crazy expensive. Like, girls spend, and you guys probably spend tons of money on apparel, makeup, things for your house, all kinds of stuff. And so many people, in my opinion, put money into things that may not be as valuable as other things in life. For example, I almost lost my life. The most valuable thing that I own in my life, right, free and clear, is not any of my possessions. It's simply my health. Think about it. If you don't have your health, you can't enjoy your Gucci's. You can't enjoy your flower print dress with your couture style. You can't even enjoy your makeup or nothing. So I want to encourage you guys, if you do shopping haul videos or not, to put your money where your mouth is and actually buy some of the best foods on the earth so that you can feed your body some of the fresh fruits and vegetables. So what I'm going to do in this video is actually share with you guys some of the raw foods that I bought in my February shopping haul and some of the benefits and why they are so healthy for you, along with some prices and other interesting tidbits. And so let's come along and start going through each of these foods one at a time. So now I'm going to share some of the fruits with you. And now, before I get into this, the majority of the foods that you're looking at behind me, including what I'm going to show you next, is actually organic. I always encourage you guys to purchase organic whenever possible. Probably like 95% of the stuff that you're seeing that I'll be sharing with you guys is organic. It is very important to me. Now, because not every food is available organic at every time of the year, I will be limiting on some of the items that I'll be eating at this time. But for me, I was able to find quite a variety of different foods that I'll be alright and I'm not going to wither away. So the first food I'll be sharing with you guys are organic mangoes. I got 4 cases of organic mangoes. They range in price from $8 to $9. Mangoes are delicious. They're definitely one of my favorite foods. And you always want to pick a mango and eat a mango when it's optimally ripe. One of the things I like to look for when a mango is ripe is a nice color. So some of these guys are nice and green, not looking so ripe. I'm going to let these guys ripen up, maybe get a little bit soft before eating them. And of course, some of these guys have a nice, red, yellow color and getting even a little bit soft. So just in a few days, I'll be able to enjoy some fresh mangoes or even make things like smoothies and frozen mango sorbets with them. So because it is the winter time, and I always want to encourage you guys to eat local or as local as you possibly can. In California, it is citrus season. So I got plenty of citrus and many different kinds of citrus fruits. When you think citrus, you might instantly think oranges, lemons, grapefruits. But there are even specific varieties of different citrus fruits that are quite good, unique, and delicious. So what I want to show you guys next is some of the different citrus that I got this time of year. So the first citrus I want to show you guys are these guys right here. I got a box of Valencia oranges at a farmer's market, direct from the farmer who I got to speak with. And these are some special Valencia oranges. You might think, yeah, John, they just look like standard oranges to me, but I want to show you guys these. Well, some of these oranges may look like the ones you're used to. Like this one is just kind of like smooth, actually a fair bit hard. I would not consider this, that ripe. Many of them kind of look like this. You're like, whoa, John, that looks like your brain on drugs. It's kind of like all bumpy and it looks weird and all this kind of stuff. And it's actually quite soft, so you could press it in really easy. And what I want to explain to you is that this is like an unripe Valencia oranges. Most time when you go buy Valencias at the store, they look like this. And it's rare that you're going to get the oranges that kind of look bumpy and soft and looking like this. That's because this was left on the tree for an extended period of time, and in commerce, most farmers do not leave their oranges on the tree this long because they get penalized by the industrial agriculture system for having what they would consider overripe fruit. To me, this is a truly ripe fruit. We're gonna go ahead and open this up and show you guys on the inside, and I'll go ahead and let you guys think of what I taste in there when I eat it. Number one, you're gonna notice, check it out. I mean, this is a Valencia orange, and this is almost like a zipper skin. You know, the skin comes off very simply and very easily. In addition, when I break this in half, as you guys can see, the peel's coming off really easy. In addition, as you guys can see, when I peel this in half, it's actually quite juicy. It's juicing out in my hand, and it's a little bit dry. It's not super moist, and we're gonna go ahead and try it on the camera for you guys. Wow. This is truly what an orange should taste like. I know many of you guys might not like citrus because it's like, John, citrus is so acidic, it like burns my mouth. If you have truly ripe fruit such as this one is, it's not gonna burn your mouth. It's actually gonna be a nice, mellow flavor. You're gonna get that hint of orange. It's not so sweet, but there's no acidity. This is totally amazing. Let's go ahead and show you guys another type of orange that you may not be familiar with. So the Valencia oranges were quite a deal. This whole case, like 45 pounds, was $22 at the farmer's market. I always encourage you guys to shop the farmer's market whenever possible for the lowest prices and the highest quality and freshest and ripest fruits. Next, we're gonna go ahead and show you guys these guys. Some more oranges, and these are not your standard oranges either. These are actually the navel oranges. You can actually see they got the little navel belly button there. And these are just not your standard navels that you may see at the store. Now, some of you guys may be lucky and be able to find these guys near you. What these guys are called, they're called a Caracara navel orange. And we're gonna cut that open on the inside and check out the color. That's not just orange, it's kind of like a pinkish, reddish orange. And you know, I wanna encourage you guys to eat your fruits of color, eat different varieties of the same fruit. So of the different oranges, there's the Valencia, the navels, and they got the Caracaras, which are kind of a navel, that have a pinkish reddish color. And each of the colors in a food are different phytochemicals and phytonutrients that may have protective properties for you. Now these guys we purchased at a farm stand, and they're about $1 a pound, so definitely a good deal. And we're gonna juice these guys up and be able to access some of the nutrition inside the Caracara. So some other oranges I got are these guys right here. Some of you guys may be familiar with them. They just look like a standard orange, but they're kind of like red on the outside. No, these are not deformed or anything like that, or have some issues because they're red or going bad. These are actually known as the blood orange, and there are different varieties of the blood orange, such as the Moro blood orange or the Taraco blood orange. I believe these are the Moros, and on picking a blood orange, you always want to pick like one with a nice red blush on the outside, much like a wine. Some of these guys in here are not quite as blushy, even though they are also the blood orange. They're kind of like more lighter. I wouldn't necessarily pick these if I was actually picking them by the each, but this one's actually quite a nice one. We want the darker ones on the outside because the darker ones on the outside are going to be darker on the inside. Now why they call these the blood oranges is, let's go ahead and cut this in half for you guys and show you. Check it out, man. Inside, that's completely dark. You know, that's like burgundy wine color. Like super dark. This one is gonna be super delicious. This does not have the same flavor as the standard orange due to the pigments and just how these guys, you know, come about and come to be. They actually have a quite, I don't know, delicate flavor. What I like to do is actually mix like a 1-to-1 Valencia to blood orange ratio with the juicer, and it's gonna make some delicious sweet, yet, I don't know, like nice, rich, burgundy colored juice for me to drink. These guys were about $16 per case of 35 pounds. Now besides just the oranges, I got some other citrus. So let's go over those guys next. So in addition, I got a whole case, 35 pounds of organic lemons. Now for those of you guys that don't know, you know, if you're buying organic fruits, they always start with a 9 and they have a 5-digit long number. So for example, this one's 94053, which is an organic lemon. If you just had a conventional lemon, they would be 4053. and they would be 4 digits long. Now, some people say that GMO foods start with a 3 or start with an 8 or all this other kind of stuff. Now, I've never seen any foods that are GMO that have those numbers, so I don't know if I would actually believe in that. And I also do know that they are irradiating foods, and those foods do not have any specific number associated with them. So in general, what you do want to remember about the numbering system that I know at this point is if it starts with a 9, it's organic, and it's 5 digits, and if it's 4 digits, it's just conventional. And that's how I would use the numbering system. Basically, the numbering system is a PLU system for a standardized for grocers to ring up the produce. So yeah, we got a whole bunch of different lemons in here. I like to use the lemons to flavor up waters, to drink when I'm drinking water to make it taste good. Or if you're doing like a lemon ginger blast, or you could add some lemon to some dressings and whatnot. And they do tend to last a while. One of the things I like to do is I like to juice a bunch of lemons and have just pure lemon juice in the fridge and be able to use that at any time to, add to drinks, to add some extra citric acid to help preserve my green juices, for example, to make them last a little bit longer. Now, besides just the lemons, we got a lot of other citrus too, and the majority of the citrus we got are right here. They're these guys. And we got a whole bunch of tangerines, and these are certified organic right in here. And these guys were actually boxed for $12. So we got a lot of these guys. Now some are going bad. We're gonna have to pick through these guys, but they are totally delicious. Some nice tangerines to eat. And if I end up with too many of them, we'll just start juicing them and get the juice out of them. And they are totally delicious. I definitely love my citrus when they're in season, and when I can get them as ripe as I possibly can. So now we got 2 more kinds of citrus I'm gonna share with you guys. We got these guys. These are the Oro Blancos. These are nice and huge guys. These have like a nice big rind on them, and I want to encourage you guys, whenever you buy citrus, you want to peel off the outside coloring, so like the yellow skin on this, but you want to leave as much white pith as you can possibly stomach and eat. The white pith is where they have all the nutrition in there, in any citrus fruit. The problem is most people don't like to eat the white pith because it doesn't taste so good. So, I actually like to juice the white pith along with the fruit to make a nice, delicious juice, although the white pith may add some undesirable flavor overtones, but you're going to definitely get more nutrition. So these are the Oro Blancos, and they're 50 cents at a farm stand grown on the farm. And besides those guys, what I like even more are these guys. These are my favorite grapefruits in the whole entire world to date. These guys are called cocktail grapefruits. Right now they're in season. These guys were 50 cents each, so I picked out the largest ones I could find and the ripest ones I could find. The ripest ones have the nicest, deepest, richest color and are a little bit soft to the touch. So these cocktail grapefruits, unlike the standard grapefruit that has that grapefruit kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, like bitter kind of flavor, these guys are the sweetest grapefruits you've ever tasted. And I love them so much, so I can't wait to juice some of these guys up, maybe even with some Valencia oranges for a delicious winter citrus juice. Next, we're going to talk about another one of my favorite fruits, and maybe yours too, tomatoes. I love tomatoes. They're great for salads. They're great for making soup bases. They're great for dehydrating. If you have too many, they're going bad, so you could use them to add flavor intensity to other tomato dishes. And I got 2 kinds of tomatoes this trip. So the Wholesale Produce Terminal in LA, and if you're interested in learning how I got all this stuff for such inexpensive prices, you're going to want to check down below in the description, and I'll have a link to my visit to the Los Angeles Wholesale Produce Terminal so that you can learn how to shop wholesale and get some of the best prices. If you are interested and live in other areas, I do have other videos where I show visiting other wholesale produce terminals, such as in Cleveland, such as in Baltimore, DC area, and also in the San Francisco Bay Area, such as South San Francisco and San Francisco. So be sure to check my past episodes for those. But what we're going to share with you guys are now the tomatoes. So we got these guys. These are organic Roma tomatoes. This was $10 for a 25-pound box. Now, these tomatoes, in my opinion, are actually quite a bit, I don't know, pink, not deep red, and these are nowhere near being ripe. Now, just letting these hang out in room temperature, not in the fridge. I do not recommend fridging your tomatoes. they will ripen up a little bit and the flavor will intensify, but they will never be as good as they could be if they were left on the vine to ripen. So I got different tomatoes in different stages or different ripenesses. I like to do what's called staggering my purchasing. So what does this mean? Say I got all unripe tomatoes, right? And I could eat the unripe tomatoes, or I could let them ripen up a little bit. That would not be so fun. What I have done instead is got some, fairly unripe Romas that we will eat way later. But before I even think about eating these guys, we're gonna eat this box right back here. And these are some hothouse grown style Campari tomatoes. And these guys are much deeper red. Gonna have much better flavor, and actually they're quite a bit softer, so they're ready to eat now. And then after these guys are done, I got some of these guys that are also the Campari tomatoes, greenhouse grown. You guys could see the color difference on those guys. And then, here's like the Roma. So you could really see the difference in colors, You always want to pick the most darkest, deepest, richest colors, when selecting your fruit if you're going to eat them immediately. And if you're buying in bulk loads and this stuff's going to last like a month, then you might want to maybe get a little bit of unripe ones that'll turn riper as time goes on. So yeah, these guys, the hothouse ones, were 25 pounds for $6.50, an amazing deal. These are the number 2s, so the number 2s, what that means is actually quite soft, they're riper, they're going to go bad, and actually there's a few bad ones in the box that I'll have to pick out and actually compost now. And we'll probably end up dehydrating a lot of these guys because we will have to use them sooner rather than later. So the next fruit we're going to share with you guys, much like the tomato, is a non-sweet fruit, and it's one of the most nutrient-dense fruits on earth. What is nutrient density? That means it has a lot of nutrients such as phytochemicals, phytonutrients, vitamins, and minerals as compared to its caloric content. So these guys are really good for you. Actually, on the Andes scoring systems, which stands for Aggregate Nutrient Density Index, which was created by Dr. Joel Fuhrman, these guys are a 420. Yes, I said it, 420, and that's actually very high. Leafy greens, for example, are 1,000. So these guys are the highest fruit on the Andes scoring chart. Now, not only did I get the standard red peppers here, we got also the yellow peppers, and I also got orange peppers. So I always want to encourage you guys to eat the rainbow of different colors of even the same fruits as possible. Each one has different phytochemicals and phytonutrients, although the nutrition profile may be fairly similar. Now, all these peppers I purchased are certified organic. That is something that's very important to me, and I would hope that it's also important to you. Now, if you can't get organic peppers, that's all right. I also will default to hothouse peppers whenever I cannot get organic peppers, because hothouse peppers in many cases are not sprayed with pesticides and are grown in a much cleaner environment, inside a greenhouse than just outside field grown. Now, as you guys know, peppers can get quite expensive. Organic peppers can cost $4.99, $6.99 a pound. Sometimes I go to the big box or warehouse club stores such as Costco to get peppers. They sell a pack of 6 hothouse peppers for maybe $6.99 to $7.99 depending on where you live. Now these guys I got an amazing deal on. One box right here, which is about 11 pounds of peppers, ranged in price depending on the color, depending on where I bought them, from $7 to $11. So at most I paid $1 for peppers. Now granted, some of these peppers are going to be used tonight for my dinner. I'm going to actually juice some of these guys because they do have some bad spots and are going bad. But a lot of these other guys are going to last probably several weeks in the refrigerator, so I'll be able to enjoy them over time and get some of these nutrient-dense foods into me. So the next fruit I got, one of my favorite fruits that I know many of you guys haven't had before, and it's kind of out of season, so I only found actually one distributor that had it at this time, and I was glad to purchase them. They were probably a bit more than I normally pay for these guys, but I'm glad I was able to find them. They're probably another really high antioxidant and phytochemical and phytonutrient fruit with actually lower calories because it's not super sweet, but they definitely are delicious. What these guys are known as cactus fruits. So right here we got 80 pounds of cactus fruits for $44, so that's a little bit over 50 cents a pound. And these guys are totally delicious. They're also known as cactus pears or tunas, and you can usually find them at a Mexican market or Hispanic market, sometimes your local grocery store that has a nice tropical fruit section may also carry the cactus pears. One of my favorite things to do with the cactus pears is to juice them with the vertical single auger style machines such as the Omega Vert or the Kuving's Whole slow juicer, and I'll make a cactus pear juice because the problem with these guys is that they are very seedy. Now you can swallow the seeds. I don't particularly care to do that. I like to juice it to basically get the liquid, get the nutrients out of the fruit. I do peel these guys before juicing in addition, and then I'll actually blend the juice with the coconut water and some coconut meat, and then run it back through the juicer to make a delicious cactus coconut milk drink. So the next fruit I'm going to show you guys are one of my favorite fruits, and it's a fatty fruit. I do eat the majority of my diet in sweet fruits and non-sweet fruits, such as I showed you earlier, but I do like to enjoy some avocados as well, especially when I get a good deal on them. So right here what we got are some California avocados. Right now it's the winter time, not known as the avocado season in California in general for the Hass avocados, which is the kind many of you guys may be familiar with. Right now most Hass avocados are being imported from Chile or Mexico, and they just don't have the flavor I find that the California ones do. I was happy I was able to find some California avocados here, and they're relatively smaller, and these guys are an 84 count box, so that means they're actually quite small. And this whole box of 84 avocados was only $10. And there probably will be a few bad ones in here because these are actually ripe, but that's alright, I got them for so cheap. And now besides just the standard ripe avocados, once again, I'm staggering or staging my food by buying some of these guys ripe, which I'll put in the fridge and eat now and until I eat through all the ripe ones. In addition, I got some avocados for later. So the avocados I got for later are right here. These guys were 50 cents each. Now these are nice large avocados here. I think this kind here is actually known as a bacon avocado, so that's a different variety. It actually has lower fat content. And this guy here is known as a Fuerte avocado. So the interesting thing is that the Fuerte avocado was basically the predecessor or one of the parents of the Hass avocado that is really popular. The Hass travels and ships much better than the Fuerte, so the Fuerte has kind of gone the way of the West, but the Fuerte remains one of my favorite avocados, so I'd encourage you guys to try the Fuertes if you can find them. Whenever you can find them. And these are California grown bacon and Fuerte avocados that are going to be so delicious, probably in some guacamole or maybe in a salad. So the next food I got is one of my favorite foods, and I would consider it an honorary fruit, and I got these guys. These are the coconuts. So I got my standard white coconuts, and these are like your standard brown coconuts that you may be familiar with, but these are younger. And when you shake these guys, you shouldn't hear any water sloshing around. That's because these are filled with water. These are a water-containing vessel. In addition, they also have some meat that's not quite as old as the brown coconuts. These are the same meat that I actually like to use to make my cactus fruit coconut milk drink that's so delicious. Now these guys were like 20 pieces for $14, and these guys will probably last 3 weeks inside the fridge. Now these guys are a little bit different. I've been thinking, oh John, I know what those are. These are the Thai coconuts. Well, if you guessed that, you'd actually be wrong. These are actually Mexican coconuts. So they shaved these guys down to make them look like Thai coconuts. But each one's a totally different shape because they're hand shaved and not perfectly done on a machine like the Thai coconuts. These guys were 9 for $13. And they're actually a little bit more than the Thai coconuts. But these, in my opinion, are much better than the Thai coconuts. Number one, they have a different taste, so they're not quite as sweet. These are more like the coconuts you'd actually get on the beach in Hawaii if you were there, so I really like these style. It's quite sad that unless you go to the produce terminal, I haven't seen these guys for sale in too many places. In addition, the meat inside these guys are one of the world's delicacies. Unlike the Thai coconuts that, you know, have a more solidified meat, some of these meats can, in the Mexican shaved down coconuts can be actually quite good, quite delicious, and really a true jelly meat like you'd have in the tropics. This is especially important and fun in the winter. So another fruit I got at the wholesale produce terminal this time were apples. You know, apples are definitely not one of my favorite fruits, especially when they're, from cold storage this time of year. I do like apples right off the tree, if they're locally grown in some cool varieties. But nonetheless, apples are a great staple food that lasts a long time, and in the fridge they'll generally last minimum a month. So I like that a lot. So we got here the Granny Smith apples. There are 3 pounds of apples in each bag. These are the 2 1/4 inch size apples. It was $18 for 36 pounds of apples. Definitely a good price. In addition, we got the 3 pounds of 2 1/2 inch Panova apples that are a bit softer, so we're going to use these guys up first. And this guy was $13 for 36 pounds of organic apples. Definitely a good deal. So up to this point, I pretty much shared with you guys all the fresh fruits, whether the sweet fruits or non-sweet fruits, or the coconuts, which are an honorary fruit. And the reality is, the most of my diet is made up of the fresh fruits and some of the other items that you've seen to this point. I always encourage you guys to eat, as much fresh fruit as you desire. But besides the fruits, the vegetables are also very important. And you might notice that I actually haven't bought a lot of vegetables. That's because I grow the majority of the vegetables I need, although I also cannot pass up an amazing deal. So while I was at one of the farm stands that I stopped at, actually I got these guys right here. I got some nice romaine lettuce. Now these guys are nice and huge, probably like fresh picked, and these guys were only 50 cents for romaine lettuce at the farm stand. So definitely a really good price. I got 6 of them. We got 4 green romaine, and we got some red romaines in here as well. Now besides just the romaine, another thing I bought was the cabbage. This is like $1.86 for 2 heads of cabbage. And this is the purple cabbage. How I'm going to use this purple cabbage is to make some sauerkraut. I do like to make my own sauerkraut, and when I don't have cabbage of my own, I like to buy some and make the sauerkraut to have some of the beneficial probiotics in my system. Besides those vegetables, I also bought a few other cool things. Number one, at a farmer's market, we got these guys. I got 2 nice large bags, and this is probably one of my favorite dried fruits in the whole wide world. Many of you guys may not have ever seen these, and they're actually quite heavy bags, probably like 7 pounds in each bag right here. Total of 14 pounds. They are 7 and some change. And these guys are known as Jujube fruits, also known as Chinese dates. And these are fresh, grown in Riverside, California. And these are truly sun-dried fruits that actually still contain a high moisture content. Many of you guys may know these guys because you can buy them at Asian or Korean stores near you, but they're not going to be anything like the ones that I'm going to show you guys right now. When you do buy them in the store, they are way more drier than this. So we're going to go ahead and bite one into one. Check it out. Inside it's nice and chewy, kind of like that nougaty flavor, consistency of that like Three Musketeers bar. It's nice soft texture, nice semi-sweet flavor, but it's a complex flavor that you haven't tasted before in any dried fruit. And to me, this is so delicious. Now besides just being delicious, the jujube is known for its medicinal properties in Chinese medicine. It's known as one of the most beneficial and healthy longevity foods, so eat a lot of jujubes to stay young. Now besides just the jujube fruits, which I'm really excited about, I got a few other things. I got the last of the persimmons at the farmer's market. Also I got half dozen persimmons that I'm going to be eating very soon. Hopefully they'll be very good until I get some fresh for next year. At a health food store, I got some organic avocados before I got my case of avocados. These organic avocados were 89 cents each on sale, but these are from Mexico. I would actually probably rather have actually non-organic California avocados than actually organic Mexican avocados, just because the non-organic ones taste better and the avocados are on the clean 15 list, and they're, avocados in general are not heavily sprayed. In addition, at the health food store, I got this guy right here. Sean, you eat kale chips? Well, yeah, I eat kale chips on a rare occasion when I either make them myself with my greens or when I can buy them for, I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera there, when I can buy them for, yes, 99 cents for organic raw kale chips. I saw this in the clearance deal bin and I bought them all. They probably had about a half dozen packages. And I do like to eat some kale chips on occasion, especially when I can get them for 99 cents, and this is the first time that has ever happened to me. Otherwise, kale chips for me are a nice treat. I want to always encourage you guys to eat your fruits and vegetables fresh with full water content instead of dehydrated. Of course, dehydrated kale chips, in my opinion, are much better than, you know, fried corn chips or any other kind of Doritos or, you know, anything like that. So you always want to do the best you can, but remember, freshest is bestest. Also, while I was at the health food store, I got another food here, and that's the buckwheat. So I got raw buckwheat that I do like to soak and sprout. Actually, one of my favorite recipes is to soak and sprout the buckwheat, mash it up with some avocados, some parsley, and a little bit of garlic for a nice kind of tabbouleh-like salad. I do have videos on YouTube where I actually make this exact recipe for you guys. And actually, while I was at the Raw Living Expo in Southern California this trip, I got hemp seeds. So this hemp seed packet here is 3 pounds of hemp seeds. They have a born on date, so you guys can see them on there. These were literally born on January 2014, I believe. So they're actually quite fresh. And they'll be good until January 2015 in this packaging here in the fridge. And if you put them in the freezer, they'll last a year and a half. So I'm sure I'll be able to use these guys within that time frame. Now, the amazing thing is the 3.5 pounds of the hemp seeds, and these are the new Tiva hemp seeds, probably my favorite brand of hemp seeds, were only $19 for 3 pounds. So do the math, that's an amazing deal. So actually we got 2 bags of these guys. So that pretty much brings us to the end of this episode. This was my raw foods haul. I hope it imparted a few things to you. Number 1, you want to eat the majority of your diet in fresh fruits and fresh vegetables. Number 2, you want to eat a wide variety. And I didn't only buy like Granny Smith apples to eat for the whole month or bananas and dates to eat for the whole month. I bought a whole bunch of different produce items in different colors and different varieties, and I'll be able to make a myriad of recipes out of these guys. I'll be able to feed me for the next month. The third thing I want to encourage and remind you guys is, you know, I know you guys might spend a lot of money on your internet bill, your cell phone bill, your clothes shopping, and all this kind of stuff. But I really want to encourage you guys to use some of the money that you make and that you have to buy some of the best stuff on earth, such as the organic fruits and vegetables, so that you can get them into your body. And even better investment for your health, besides buying fruits and vegetables, you know, that you're eating, is to invest in a garden and invest in soil and growing your own food, so you can have even a higher level of nutrition coming into you by homegrown, locally grown, mineral-rich foods that you can grow in your backyard or even front yard. Be sure to check my other YouTube channel, Growing Your Greens, where you can learn how to grow your own food. I do teach that there. So hopefully you enjoyed this raw food shopping haul. Once again, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time, and remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best. All right, this is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. We're all the way here in Hilo, Hawaii, and I've traveled here to answer one simple question.